Hello everyone. In this uncertain situation, I hope that we and our families will always be given health and safety. My name is Takwa Naralalugogo. I am the corresponding author of this research. My research title is Analysis of Factors Affecting Liquidity Risk in Indonesian Islamic Banking. This research is done with my As said by Kasu in 2015 and Hubbard in 2018, the bank functions as a financial intermediary institution and financial institution. In Indonesia, a bank is specifically defined and functions as a national financial instrument based on democracy, and its main function is to collect public funds in the form of savings and channel these public funds into credit or other forms that are aimed solely at improving the standard of living of the people at large. Banking in Indonesia adopts two different banking systems. The first is general banking, which adopts the conventional systems as previously described by the law above. Then the second is general banking, which adopts the Islamic financial systems. Islamic banking in Indonesia is regulated by the Financial Services Authority, or abbreviated by OJK, in the Sharia banking law of 2008, which is a bank which carries out its banking activities based on Islamic principles based on fatwas issued by institutions that have the authority to stipulation of fatwas in the field of Sharia based on the provisions of the law above. The main difference between conventional general banking and Islamic general banking is the avoidance of carrying out ribawi activities. In carrying out the function of receiving deposits of funds, borrowing money, and money transfer services, this is because Islamic general banking prioritizes fair activities and prioritizes the concept of cooperation in profit-sharing schemes for both profit and loss. In carrying out its functions, both Islamic and conventional commercial banking have the same business risk, but in various literatures, Islamic banks are claimed to be more stable in the face of crisis. Sharia banks are also more liquid than conventional banks in stable financial condition. The study focuses on Islamic banking when carrying out its function as a financial institution in Indonesia. Islamic banking cannot escape liquidity risk. Liquidity risk in Islamic banking in Indonesia itself experiences fluctuating conditions as illustrated in diagram 1.1. As LNCD, liquid assets divided by non-core deposits is the level of liquidity risk used in this study. The higher the LNCD value, the lower the level of liquidity risk experienced by the bank. The safe limit for LNCD is if it is above 50%. On diagram, we can still see some of the banks struggling with liquidity risk until end of research period. Fatur Rahman and Rusli in 2019 in their research analyzed liquidity risk in Islamic banking in Indonesia using the VECM method. From research using FDR as a proxy for liquidity risk, Fatur Rahman and Rusli concluded that CAR has a significant positive effect on FDR. ROA has a negative effect on the liquidity of Islamic banks due to the management efficiency and affects financial performance. The same result were also obtained from the result of research conducted by Pamungkas in 2018, conducting research on the effect of capital adequacy and credit risk on liquidity in Islamic banking in Indonesia. Based on the result on the study, Pamungkas found that capital adequacy had a positive effect on liquidity. According to him, because bank capital was increasing compared to changes in bank RWA, which had decreased, and credit risk affected liquidity risk significantly positively because its relationship with lack of income due to the bad credit. The research above is also supported by research by Aulina et al. In 2018, which conducted research on ROA, and CAR on liquidity risk, which is where the result of his research are that only ROA and CAR have an influences on liquidity risk, where ROE negatively affects the amount of capital invested and CAR positively affects liquidity risk in terms of capital. Problem statement of this research is, knowing how minimum capital adequacy, return on equity, company size, non-performing finance, gross domestic product, and inflation affects liquidity risk in Indonesian Islamic banking. The second is, find the causes of the high liquidity risk in Islamic banking in Indonesia based on this research. And the third is, knowing what efforts can be made to mitigate liquidity risk in Islamic banking in Indonesia based on the finding of this study. The population in this study is all data on Islamic commercial banks in Indonesia that report financial reports and financial ratio reports from 2013 to 2019 from the Financial Services Authority, an independent institution that regulates and supervises financial service activities in the banking sector and the market. Observations in this study were carried out on a sample of non-Islamic commercial banks for 28 quarters. The sample was determined by purpose sampling method to adjust the availability of data to the research objective. The first step in conducting research is skimming the problems in Islamic banking to identify problems within the scope of the research, then collecting literacy studies to find the variables to be used. After the variables used are obtained, then secondary data is collected from the website of the Financial Services Authority, the website of the Central Statistic Agency, or the bank concerned. This research was carried out guided by modifying the model in previous research conducted by Santoso, Melek, and Solesa to analyze GDP, inflation, bank size, ROE, CAR, and adding research variables. And from Pamungkas in 2018 for NPF to liquidity risk on Islamic banking in Indonesia. Following are our research model. And the explanation is Y is liquid asset divided by non-core deposit, X1 CAR, X2 is ROE, X3 NPF, X4 bank size, X5 GDP, X6 inflation, and E error. Following are our hypothesis of our research. The first is increased CAR negatively affect liquidity risks. The second is increasing of ROE has no effect on liquidity risk. And number 3, increased credit risk doesn't affect liquidity risk. And increasing bank size has no effect liquidity risk. And next, increased inflation has a positive effect on liquidity risk, and the increase of gross domestic product has a negative effect of liquidity risk. Measurement of variables carried out in our study are as follows: LNCD, CAR, ROE, NPF, L size, LIHK, and LGDP. This study uses panel data to see the effect of variable mentioned to liquidity risk in Islamic banks. The panel data is Common Effect Model or PLS, Fixed Effect Model, and Random Effect Model. Below is the analysis method used to interpret the regression results. The first is test the coefficient of determination. It's a method to find out how much influence the independent variable simultaneously have on the dependent variable in the regression model. The second is model feasibility test or test F, which aims to determine whether the panel data regression model obtained its feasibility to explain the effect on the independent variable on the dependent variable. If the open F statistic is smaller than alpha level, which is study is 0.05, it can be concluded that the regression model is feasible to explain the effect of independent variable on the dependent variable. The third is statistical test. The test is to test whether each independent variable is able to explain the independent variable one by one. Based on the explanation above, liquidity risk is a risk that can be experienced by any financial institution, especially banks, which incidentally have a wide number of assets and scope. This research is basically conducted because it wants to make a contribution to the progress of Islamic banking, especially in Indonesia, because from the introduction above, it can still be seen that there are still Islamic banks that have a high liquidity risk and can be influenced by internal and external factors. The study uses reliable data sources and is is processed using the method of the research fields is the best. In the table 4.1, you can see a summary of the best model test over the panel. From the result of the Chow test model, the p-value for all models is the level of significance 1.0f, which is smaller than F table. So there is sufficient evidence to accept H0 so that PLS is chosen as the model. Then for the Hausmann test, obtain chi-square 4.16, which is smaller than chi-square table, and the same result is also shown in the BPLM test where chi-square is smaller than chi-square table, so that the PLS model is chosen. Classic assumption test. This is a test used to check whether the parameters in the models are blue, which is a base, linear, unbiased, and estimator. The first is multicollinear test. There is no multicollinear system in the independent variable. In table 4.2, it can be seen that multicollinear test results have an average of 1.0h. Next is autocorrelation test. In the table 4.4, results obtained are 0.156h, which means the probe alpha is smaller than 1.05, so it can be concluded that there are no autocorrelation symptoms. On heteroscedasticity test, the test result is 1.7427, which is greater than alpha 0.05, so it can be concluded that there are no symptoms of heteroscedasticity. In the table 4.3 presented, we can see the result of this research. Determination coefficient test. From the estimation results, it is found that the value of R squared is 0.7351, which means that the independent variables are able to explain the dependent variable of 73.51%, which means that the other 26.49% are explained by other variables outside the model. For the F-test, in the study result of the F-test statistic probability test were 0.000, smaller than the alpha level, which is 5%. So it can be seen that this regression model is feasible to describe the dependent variable on the independent variable. For the t-statistic test, the t-test result can be seen in the table above. In the t-statistic probability, value is lower than the significance level alpha 0.05. It can be said the independent variable can explain the independent variable. From the results of data processing, it is found that Rowe, NPF, and CAR lower than the significance level alpha 0.05 reject HO and accept H1, and the L size, LGDP, and LEHK variables above exceed the significance level of alpha 0.05, accepting HO and rejecting H1. So it can be said that the independent variable cannot explain the dependent variable. Based on the finding on the table 4.3, it can be described in the following equation. And for the interpretation is for a Rowe has a positive coefficient value in the above model, which means that the greater the Rowe in the bank, the larger the L in CD value, which indicates the liquidity risk faced by banks is getting smaller. This is because Rowe is reflections of the level of probability in a bank. In the study, Rowe has a regression result with a value of 0.039, which means that each addition of one Rowe point will reduce the LNCD liquidity risk by 0.039. The higher the Rowe value of a bank, the lower the liquidity risk. The higher Rowe indicates the efficiency owned by the bank in increasing a net income, which is the higher return, higher dividends distributed, or retained earnings as earnings. The reinvested profit that is invested into retained earnings will be source of liquidity. The more liquid a bank is, the less risk it faces. Islamic banks that use the profit-sharing principle provide solutions or alternatives to the banking system that make a relationship between the bank and the public profitable, and prioritize aspects of fairness during transaction, ethical investment, and avoid speculative activities. The study has similarities with Anjum Iqbal research on banking in Pakistan from 2012, Muharrab and Kurnia from 2012, and Bani and Yahya 2015, where the higher of the level of of equity addition, the smaller the liquidity risk experienced by the bank. For the car in the model shows a high significance of 0.05 level. The variable has a positive value on the model. The car value of 0.237 indicates for each addition of one car point by 1 point, it will reduce liquidity risk by 0.237. This means that greater the car value of a bank, the higher the LNCD at the bank, which means that liquidity will be higher and liquidity risk has been successfully suppressed. CAR is a ratio that shows a bank's ability to provide funds for business investment and accommodate adequate liquidity. When the CAR level is higher, it shows that the bank can fulfill its activities and contribute to the bank's profitability level. The higher the CAR means, the better the bank's ability to anticipate risk, including the productive assets. A Sharia bank with sufficient CAR will certainly be more resilient to face liquidity pressures from a market. In addition, CAR is needed to build strong infrastructure and ensure the best service in hostile conditions. Increasing CAR can be done in various ways, including increasing capital injection from investors, issuing new shares, or by increasing the company's retained earnings, which results are similar to the results that researched by Pamungkas in 2018 and Bukhari 2004, Bani Ainiyah in 2015, which state that the higher the capital adequacy, the liquidity risk experienced by banks will depreciate because intermediation function can be carried out optimally. For the NPF in the model has significant negative value at the level of confidence level of 0.05. The NPF value of minus 0.339 indicates that for each addition of NPF value point by 1, it will reduce LNCD by 0.339. This variable has a negative value in each, which means the smaller the NPF level, the higher the LNCD level as an indicator of liquidity risk. Because the greater the LNCD points, the safer it is from liquidity, which concludes that the greater the credit risk, the worse the level of liquidity risk at the bank, because it indicates the smaller the liquidity capacity of a bank. The cause of this high NPF could be due to bank failure in managing third-party funds, which triggers the emergence to credit risk, which is in this study is indicated by NPF ratio. A failure occurs when Islamic banks have weak analytical skills in the Sharia business and their inability to choose prospective NPF debtors in the ratio, careful in the channeling funds, so that the quality of financing what the bank does is getting worse. This bad financing indicates unproductive financing, which means that it is at risk reducing the amount of money received by the banks and is signal of high liquidity risk to the banks. Another alternative that can be given to increase equity-based financing is equity-based financing is the main bread through Islamic economy because of the provision of profit and loss sharing content therein. However, this product requires more effort from the side of the bank because it has considered various things, including the assessment of debtor profile and sufficient knowledge related to the industry. However, when Islamic banks are increasingly bold in using equity financing-based contract and more willing to enter industry that were previously untouched, of course, the cumulative knowledge of the banks will be better at doing business appraisal. Equity-based financing, apart from having the potential to increase profit from the bank, also benefits both parties due to the sharing of the risk contained in the contract. These results are similar to the results of research by Pamungkas and Erickson and Renault, where the greater the credit risk, the more vulnerable the level of liquidity of the bank is due to the too large credit score of the default financing, and this will reduce level of liquidity and solvency of the bank concerned. With that result, we can conclude that from the result of this study, it can be concluded that liquidity risk in Islamic banking for the 2013 to 2019 period is influenced by ROE, CAR, and NPF factors, where mitigation can be done, among others, is to prioritize aspects of fairness and transparency in conducting transaction and investment so that ROE of Islamic banking can be maintained. Then optimize incoming to increase the value of capital and increase investment to stabilize capital adequacy in Islamic banking, as well as improving the financial disbursement system so that financing becomes more targeted, thereby reducing the occurrence of credit risk in Islamic banking. For this acknowledgement, I give my thanks a lot to Tikarudin Aswin, PhD, who has helped in the editorial of this research, and to the ranks of the University of Indonesia, who have facilitated the author so that this research can be carried out until the end, and to the family of researchers who have supported the author in his efforts to complete this research. Thank you for watching, and God bless us all.